My name is Loa Fridmanson of Activate Corporate Relations and Training, and we are here today on another episode of the Indigenous Entrepreneurs Network, where I get the distinct opportunity and pleasure of speaking with Indigenous people who are up to big things in the world and in running their businesses. And today we're going to do something a little bit different, and I'm going to introduce you to a fabulous friend and client by the name of Rocio Zielinski, who works for Stó Community Futures. And her and her team help Indigenous people to launch and grow businesses in the Fraser Valley. So Rocio, thank you so much for being here today.
And thank you for inviting me to be part of this.
Oh,
thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. We've done known each other now for a number of years, and we've done some great work together. So it's really nice to have this opportunity to get you to share a little bit about yourself and talk about what Stó Community Futures does to help Indigenous people start and grow businesses.
Absolutely. What a pleasure. Thank you again. I'm excited.
Yay. Okay, so why don't you tell us a little bit about your own business journey and what brought you to SCF, and also what you and your team do.
So my Indigenous background is from Mexico, and I came to Stó Community Futures about 15 years ago. I recently took over in the last year as the general manager with Stó Community Futures, which has been an exciting journey for me. Because really my passion has been in this organization, not only for creating the growth of the Indigenous business economy, but really changing the lives of so many people. Stó Community Futures has been around for almost 30 years, believe it or not. We've been around for a very long time. And so we are getting back to the grassroots level of what we do. And that's our core mandates of, providing the business counseling and advice, of trying to walking someone through the idea and the dream of wanting to get into business for themselves, and take it step by step. What does that mean? How do we get you to get to it to become a reality? And so through the business advice, we also have business training programs that we offer. And we also provide a few business loans that can accommodate varied types of size of businesses as we get them up and running.
And so what do you look for in terms of the a person that's interested in starting a business, and they come to you and they express an interest in a particular product or service that they'd like to launch? What do you normally, how do you help them through? Like, what are the steps that an entrepreneur would take when they see you?
Well, really, it's just having that initial discussion. Everyone is at different stages, and the majority of the time, someone literally just has a dream. They're at ground zero of the dream. And so we guide them through, what does that mean? How does that work? And what's the viability of that business, which is a huge important part of getting them into business. So one of the things that we really try to encourage, of course, education is so important, but also trying to ensure that people don't have an obstacle or a fear in thinking, well, I don't have a business degree, I don't have any business training, that's not what we're looking for. I would say that 98% of the people that we meet with have no business training. In some cases, some people don't have a high school diploma. Subject to the type of business that someone needs to get into. Maybe they do need a ticket or some certification that they need to go through. Of course, that's a requirement that we would need. But that fear factor of feeling that they need to have this education,
MBA or something like that,
is not needed. And so we really try to encourage, hey, this is why we do these training programs, where we provide the tools that help you be a stronger entrepreneur. We want to see you succeed. So let's give you the education and the training that you need to make you successful.
Oh, absolutely. And I can completely relate to that, which is why I'm doing the work that I am in the business training at different Indigenous communities, because I didn't start with my family coming from a business background, and I didn't have a big fancy university degree. And I've been in business 20 years now, and running two businesses, in fact. And I think that the key thing is to do something that you're passionate about. And of course, that does have a need in the marketplace, right? That's pretty important. But there are ways that you can figure out how to create that turn that passion into a commercial business. And it's going to see people like you, like Shannon, that also works with you, and taking business training through the training that I do, or that the best program does. So there's I think like you mentioned as well, Rocio, that it's that fear that holds people back, the fear that maybe I'm not good enough to be an entrepreneur, or I don't have enough of the stuff that it takes. But in actual fact, that is a complete lie that we tell ourselves.
Absolutely.
Right? There's so many. I mean, you were telling me the other day about an incredible business owner that you guys have worked with, Linda K. Peters, who I actually had the wonderful opportunity to speak with, and she's such a neat lady. Yeah, and she just has the most amazing story. She didn't realize that she was going to be, flying off to Paris to show her pieces in the Paris Indigenous fashion design show, and all the other incredible things that have happened to her. And so I think it's really knowing that you just take that one step and you go and you ask people for help, and it leads to incredible places.
Absolutely. And she's a perfect example. And thank you for bringing her forward, because she really, this was a hobby of hers. She had a full-time job doing her thing, and was doing sewing and doing dresses and vests and everything else on the side. And as the demand grew for her, she realized that this hobby was really starting to become a business. And so she needed some funding, some cash flow, just to give her some material, buy maybe some another sewing machine, hire some seamstresses to help her create some of the inventory, because she got invited to a fashion show, I believe, in Regina at that time. And so we helped her with that. She got out there, and that's how she was, unbeknownst to her, as you might have heard the story, she had someone in the audience that was there from New York, that was looking for their different fashion designers to put it in their New York fashion runway. Amazing. And so she was selected and got chosen to go there. And then from there, a couple of years later, Paris. And so it's an example of how a little bit of funding, we're not looking at getting anyone into debt. We're not looking at anything like that. We're just here to help and get those initial developmental steps going to help you get started. And we're here to support and help you grow. And she's an exciting example of how we help our entrepreneurs. Another one is AJ Towing. They're a Métis mom and son owned towing company, and they've been with us for 10 years, and we've helped them develop over the years. They needed a truck, and then a few years later they needed another 2 trucks, and then and we've helped them grow over the years as well. So we have many success stories, and so we're really trying to push those forward through our social media and share those stories, those successes that are out there. It's so important to see pictures and videos that people like to see.
Absolutely. And to show people that their peers are doing it, and they don't necessarily have to have any, special education. And that helps people to understand that, well, if my friend Joe can do it, then so can I.
Exactly.
And having the support of like Stolo Community Futures team and other resources that are out there that are available to Indigenous entrepreneurs, of which there are so many now. There's Tallahout Corporation also is another resource for funding and for fantastic support.
Absolutely. There are partners and friends, and whenever we can encourage anything where it's not just about us. Maybe we're just a resource for someone. Maybe someone doesn't need financing. They just need, hey, how do I do this? And it's okay, maybe it's not us. So here's this resource for you. And that would be one of them, our partners and friends over at Tallahout Aboriginal Capital Corporation. Absolutely.
And then there's also the cheerleading aspect, of which I know that you are a major cheerleader for your entrepreneurs.
We sure are. We sure are. We have Shannon Smith. She's our business analyst. She's incredible. She's out in the communities. We're doing our satellite offices at 7 of the communities out in Stolo. And And so we're out there to like you're saying, cheer people on, to say you can do it. Don't let those obstacles hold you back from making your dreams come true.
Oh, that's so true. And so there, we all know, in any time that somebody is starting a business, and there's always in life in general, anytime you're going after big goals or things that you want in your life, there's always going to be obstacles that you need to work around. So what would you say the biggest obstacles are that an Indigenous entrepreneur would need to push through, and how can they best do that? Like, what would you say if someone said to you, oh, it's, I don't know what I'm going to face, and I don't know how to get around, it's the unknown essentially, right?
It is the unknown. And I think that that's why we're here, to provide that guidance, walk you through the different avenues or obstacles you may see in front of you, and help guide you through that journey of, okay, it's not this direction, it's that direction. And I think a lot of the times, like you're saying, maybe it's a fear that, confidence value of like, I can do this. And that's scary for anyone.
Sure.
So we're here to help you so that it doesn't become a fear. It's a reality. And if it isn't now, maybe in some cases, sorry, the light just went off. In some cases, it's not, it's the timing factor as well, Loa. Maybe right now isn't the time for someone.
Right.
Maybe there needs to be a few more steps to be taken, maybe a little bit more training, or a little bit of something that may be needed to really be ready. Because like I said, at the end of the day, we want to see people are successful, and we want to be sure that that's going to happen for them.
Absolutely. Getting them to crawl before they start running, right? And
yes,
yeah, it's the baby steps, and they add up, and they add up faster than you think.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So I know that this is something that's a real passion of yours, Rocio. How why did you get into this line of work? Like, what is it for you personally that really gets you excited about getting up and going to work every day?
You know what? For me, it's changing lives. In many cases, actually, we've helped people get off of social assistance.
Wow.
We've helped people be able to change the lives of their families, and maybe in some cases they've even provide employment opportunities for their family members through their businesses, or employment opportunities for their communities. It really is such an important part of what we do, and the success of our entrepreneurs is the success for others. And in creating that empowerment for them is huge for me, for us, for our board that is so amazing. They're so engaged, they're so passionate themselves. Committee members that we have, that we bring in through our community empowerment model. There's just so many positives around what we do to ensure the success of everyone. And to me, when we have all of those positive pieces, it makes me just love what I do, and I hope I do it for a very, very long time.
Oh yeah, and you're very good at it because you love it.
I do. I love it.
That's evident, and I totally relate, and I think that's why you and I get along so well too, because we have a very similar love for helping people to do what's going to make them happy, and to also affecting positive change in their communities.
Absolutely. And it's genuine. It's like you're saying, you and I have that same, it's a genuine, it's coming from a genuine place. And that's what I think makes the difference, as well as you do as well. Loa, you do awesome at it.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So what's next for Stolo Community Futures? What's your vision for the next 2 to 5 years, now that you're in charge, large and in charge?
Large and in charge. Oh my goodness. Well, you know what? I think we've got so many things coming. We just created a partnership recently with the Women's Enterprise Center.
Yeah.
And it's going to help us, create more opportunities for Indigenous women in business. That's a huge growth out there, which
Absolutely.
is phenomenal, and we want to continue to encourage and support. So by bringing in this organization, we're going to be doing some training programs coming up over the year.
Nice.
We're looking at partnering with the University of the Fraser Valley and creating sort of a basic training, maybe over 8 to 12 weeks, that provides, again, the different pieces of what is a business plan and how do you get there, financials, etc. So we're just in the, beginning stages of that process, but we're looking forward to that. And really we're partnering with the communities out there with creating these satellite offices. So what are these satellite offices? Well, it's us going out into the different communities. Like I mentioned earlier, we have 7 communities where they've welcomed us to be there at their band office or wherever they can put us and fit us. We don't care. We just want to be there. And bringing our resources out to them, because for so many, our territory is so big. Yeah. Our territory is from Fort Langley to Hope, both sides of the Fraser River.
Wow, that is large.
24 communities in this territory. We provide our services to all 24 who are open and willing to take on the opportunity for their community members. And these 7 communities are our partners. And we're so excited to be out there. And so for being out in Kwantlen, that's way out in Fort Langley, and we're in Chilliwack. So, we're not expecting so many people to try to, get out here. That's a long trip. Transportation's an issue sometimes. So we want to be out in these different areas where they're also comfortable being in their own band office.
Totally.
And so there's that comfort level there as well. So we're just excited to be able to grow those. We want to add some more of those satellite offices in the communities. So we're really looking forward to that. And, we are looking to continue to expand, certain programs that we maybe offer. Some of them are kind of temporary. We have a great partnership with New Relationship Trust right now, where they're providing us the grant fund to be able to provide grants to our entrepreneurs. That's an equity match program. So if they bring us a bank statement that shows what they have for equity to match what they have to contribute as part of our loan processes and guidelines, then we can match that money as a grant. It's maxed out to a certain amount, but it's up to 5,000 maximum. But these are the different things we want to continue to provide tools and opportunities to help our entrepreneurs be successful.
Wow, that's incredible. And it sounds like you're going to be affecting a lot of people, and hopefully, more people learn about the great work that you're doing and are wanting to take that step to at least investigate what entrepreneurship could look like for them. And I know from my own experiences in teaching at various communities that there is also a very big interest from the youth, from Indigenous youth, on what does entrepreneurship look like, and could that be a career choice that I may be able to go after? So what do you think in terms of, have you been seeing that as well, the youth?
Absolutely. I think that's definitely a sector that we want to look forward to connecting with and engaging. And how can we help them? How can we plant that seed while still encouraging education for the youth? Definitely, no, without a doubt. But also understanding that what can go hand in hand with education is being an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
So we want to see how we can potentially maybe go into the high schools or some of the programs where we can talk about entrepreneurship as an option for their future. So we are excited to try to engage our youth as well. Absolutely.
That's amazing. And the youth are our future. And I think we're both pretty aware that Indigenous youth are the fastest growing segment of the population. So we've got to get in there and help them live their dreams and figure out what they'd like to do. And
absolutely, yes.
And show them how cool entrepreneurship can be.
So fun. And there's so many different other programs out there, especially what you've been doing with the youth out in Squamish. So you do such amazing things that we love to connect with and share and bring out to Stalo, so that we can encourage our youth. Like you said, they're the leaders, they're the future, and we want to be sure that they're also empowered and successful. And how can we be part of that for them?
Oh, absolutely. And I will partner with you again any day. I love you guys. Thank you so much, Rocio. This has just been such a wonderful, enlightening, and just really uplifting conversation. And I'm sure all of our viewers are going to find it the same way. And please do, to our viewers, get in touch with Rocio and Shannon at Stolo Community Futures, because they are, if you're in the Fraser Valley, of course, because they are ready and waiting to cheerlead you on and show you what your next steps could look like. So Thanks again, Rocio.
Thank you, Loa. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Me too. And I look forward to seeing you again real soon and having you back on the show.
Thank you so much. All our best.
Thank you. Have a great day. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Bye-bye now.